Hey, so if you're watching this for the first time on my blog, you have not heard from me in over 2 months. And if you're watching this for the first time on my YouTube channel, then you have not heard from me in over 4 years. So I know you're probably thinking, dang, girl, where you been, girl? Where you been? But I have a perfectly healthy explanation as to why I've been MIA these past couple of months or years. Um, and so that's what I really want this video to be about. I want to talk about taking a break from social media, um, quitting grad school. Am I not? If so, when am I going to do so? Or have I already quit grad school? And Singlehood. So I hope that you stay tuned to this video, and I hope that you find this discussion engaging. And yeah, so I'm gonna get started. Oh, and by the way, I'm gonna be looking down sometimes at my phone, so if I'm looking down, it's because I'm kind of making sure I get all my points in from my notepad on my phone. So first, I want to talk about social media fasts. So I do social media fasts frequently. Just kind of like you would spring clean your closet, things that you can't fit any longer, things that you no longer want or no longer use, or sometimes you just want to be a blessing to someone else and just give away some items in your clothes that are in great condition and want to pass that off to a family or an individual that may be in need. We clean the spaces in our home, and I think when it comes to our spirits, our mind, our body, and our heart and our soul, I think the same exact actions and care should be the absolute same. So when I do social media fasts, I do so without making a big announcement. I don't want a lot of attention drawn, and I just like to do so quietly. I feel like that's the best way because sometimes you have people that, well, why are you taking a break? Or sometimes people don't understand, or they expect you to be gone for a certain amount of time, and then if you're gone a little bit longer, then they like, hey, I miss you. Or if you're come back earlier than you said that you would, they'd be like, I thought you were supposed to be gone for X amount of time. So I'm just going whenever I feel so. Just leaving social media whenever I feel the need to has been a just really cool low-key way, and then I make my appearance when I have to. So this time I was feeling a lot of just, I don't want to say emptiness, but I was not feeling, if that makes sense. Like emptiness in terms of feeling a void, like you see the same thing all the time on social media and it becomes repetitive. And even though I go to a great extent to monitor the content that I see on my feed, like I don't accept everyone on Facebook. If I see somebody following me on YouTube and I don't feel like they have positive content on their page, then I will block them or delete them. And then on Instagram, if someone follows me and I don't really like their content, it's very negative, it's not something that I stand for or support, I will delete them as well. So I go to great lengths to ensure that I'm keeping positive content in front of my face, because intaking that has an effect on you, even whether or not you admit it. So I was just seeing a lot of sort of empty content, and it was getting to me, and I was so surprised that it was getting to me so much. And I was seeing a lot of engagements. I was seeing a lot of sort of everybody seems to be an idol of themselves nowadays, and I know people are going to do what they want to do, and it's none of my business. But the fact that you see it all the time, I think it's become sort of a societal issue. And so just seeing that all the time, it can be so draining. And so I said, I just need to take a step back. I felt like I wasn't concentrating on my homework or dreams that I had. So I'm in the process of writing a couple of books, actually. And there are times when you're on social media you'll treat yourself for 30 minutes, and then next thing you know, it turns into 3 hours, and you're like, dang. I ain't been productive all day. And I just felt like that was becoming a habit. So I said, if I can continue to delete people, then I might as well just delete my account. So I said, why don't I remove myself from the situation and just kind of go on a fast? And it was supposed to be for 2 weeks, but then as I got into it, I didn't even think about social media anymore. I deleted the apps from my phone. I did not log in. And I got so used to it. It felt so wonderful. And as a result of me deleting social media from my phone, I did keep YouTube because I like to listen to different sermons and things, or positive worship music, or positive uplifting music when I'm just getting ready or when I'm just chilling around the house. And so being able to do so, I started getting back into the Sabbaths. Now, the Sabbaths, for anyone who doesn't know, Christians go to church on Sunday, and people who truly study the Bible, and the Old Testament of the Bible, to be more specific, which is what I grew up on. I didn't grow up in the Christian church. I've only known the scriptures. I've only known the Old Testament, and Leviticus and Deuteronomy and Genesis and Exodus and Numbers. So I grew up on the Torah, thick and through. And so I started back keeping the Sabbaths from my childhood, and it just really allowed me to draw closer to Yah, the Heavenly Father. I know a couple of months ago I was kind of complaining a little bit about that. I'm not able to hear His voice, and are my prayers falling on deaf ears, and am I displeasing to the Father? And that was kind of bothering me because I know that I'm not perfect. None of us are, but I definitely strive for perfection because I take with great pride being a role model to people who may look up to me for whatever reason, and that's very important to me. And so I want to be pleasing in the eye of Yah, but I also want to be an authentic, let me say that, an authentic representation of womanhood, femininity. So all of that was an opportunity to just get back to my roots. And if I'm honest, I feel like to an extent I was trying to chase sort of the innocence of my childhood, which was really hard because I grew up very sheltered. And some people would look at that as a negative, but I saw that as a beauty. I didn't really grow up on a lot of Disney movies, didn't really grow up, couldn't wear makeup, had a very modest sort of rule or standard when it came to a dress code. I didn't know a lot about the world, and that led to me being naive in some facets. But the older that I grew, I think I became a little bit more stronger in the decision-making realm and trusting myself. But so basically as a child I was taught to ask a lot of questions, always ask questions, and I was just very close with my mom. I didn't have this sort of, I wasn't jealous as a child, so that jealousy and things like that, I really wasn't affected by that. Low self-esteem, I've been very close with my mom. I was always, taught uplifting words, and I was always had a lot of emotional support as a child, and so as a result, I didn't go through as much, maybe the typical, I don't want to say the typical, but I had a lot of self-confidence at a young age, and I do think that that's something that's not always common, especially for young Black girls or households. Sometimes that's not always common. I didn't go through a lot of maybe the things that certain people go through in terms of abuse, sexual abuse and things like that. And so I was very blessed in that realm. And I felt like I was sort of chasing that, and I was chasing that, and I was chasing that. And I was trying to silence the noise. I felt like the world was moving too fast. And I was like, how can I just get back to a simplistic way of life? How can I get back to me not wanting this greed, me not seeing something on social media and feel like I need to have that, this sort of gluttony of food, feeling like you need to go out to eat all the time. And so all of that was getting to me, and taking a break from social media was just the perfect way for me to sort of reboot, get closer to Yah, which is absolutely important to me. And then also, it was a way for me to kind of silence the noise and start trusting myself again. And I think the way that you start trusting yourself again is you start making decisions. So I started getting deep, immersing myself deeper and more richly into the scripture. And normally, when I have like an issue about something, and I'm like, well, why does it say this, but then it also says this? I normally call my father. And while I appreciate him, like literally answering the phone anytime when I call him, anytime in the night or the day, and him typically having an answer for the questions that I have, I felt that it was my responsibility to kind of continue to read and continue to actually, help, open up doors of understanding in parts that I'm not understanding. I started reading other hidden books of the Bible, like the Apocrypha, and other books that really talk about the history of the displaced blacks in America beyond just slavery, talking about the invasion of their homeland, and talking about the different places that blacks were. All the black people in America did not come from Africa per se, but that's a whole nother subject for a whole nother video. So just reading a lot of awesome literature on top of, mind you, being in grad school. And so it was just really a cool time for me to just like not keep up with anything. I didn't know what was going on in Hollywood. And now I'm catching up with, all of these, he said this, she said this, somebody accused this person, people getting fired from news stations. Like, I'm just now catching up to all of this, and it's so much that I feel like I want to get off social media again, because I'm just like, I don't really, I'm starting to care about that shit, like, less and less. And pardon my French, but it's just, sometimes that's exactly what it is. It's just that fills up your life, but not in a good way. So, yeah, that was a little bit long-winded, but I had a long social media break, and it was so blessed for my life. So the next point is I'm going to talk about is quitting grad school. Grad school is something that, well, I think there's a need for it depending on what you want to do. And right now I'm in a program where I'm getting my master's and my PhD together in an accelerated program in global family health. And I thought it was something that, like, a PhD was something that I wanted. And trust me, I'm not here for the letters, because that's stupid. If you're just wanting to get a PhD for the letters, I would tell you, please don't ever apply to grad school for that reason. It's not worth the stress. It's not worth the drama. And then if you're black, like, a lot of times it's not worth a lot of the just mental and emotional sort of just rigor that you go through. And then being an empathetic person and being a deeply spiritual person, I feel like sometimes I'm just thinking of stuff on a whole nother level, and sometimes I feel like am I overthinking? Am I making this too hard? But I say all this to say I'm at a point in my program where I could, take the master's and leave, or I could continue on and get straight to the PhD. But it's not a matter of whether or not I can do it, because I'm an intelligent person, book-wise and spiritual-wise and street-wise. So that isn't the issue. I have the grit and the tenacity and the vigilance to stay the course. But I'm in my late 20s now, and I'm just at a point in my life where, like, my values are shifting, and I'm just growing a little bit more comfortably into my skin and who I am each day. And I don't really care about a PhD. I don't. I don't think a lot of professors, and I'm not specifically saying like any ones that I know directly, but I just think maybe the atmosphere of academia, I